All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. We're here for the He Said, She Said Sports Talk podcast. We are your hosts. I am Big Red along with Tony. What's good, Tony?
What's up? It's New York or nowhere, baby. Nixon, how many? Four, five, six,
I don't know. We're
three,
going to
three.
get to we. I know New York rocking right now. We definitely going to get to that. Definitely. First off, I want to just say I know we were supposed to have a special guest on this week. Were ill. Sent me a message about him being ill. Definitely wish him to feel better, and he will be on next week. Just so everyone knows that, because I know we mentioned something about a special guest. But anyway, let's talk NFL.
Yeah.
Uh, there was news today, about the Tush Push.
Mm-hmm.
It was about teams trying to ban it. Obviously, there was a voting having to go. They had to have 24 votes to ban it. There were only 22 votes that they got. So the Tush Push will not be banned for this season. What's your take on that, and how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think it was interesting some of the teams that voted certain ways, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
obviously all of the teams in Philadelphia's conference voted against it. Obviously
Uh-huh.
the Packers voted against it. Um, the Bills voted against it, which they do their own version of it. So would
Oh,
that
yeah.
have also been
I was
banned?
surprised with that one.
I was a little bit surprised by that. But obviously the boys over at the Lions, Dan Campbell and them, they voted in favor of keeping it. And the quote is sending me because it's the most Dan Campbell quote of all time. He said, if you've got something, we've got to stop it. So like to me, leave it in.
Yeah, and I love
Which is
Dan Campbell for
exactly
that.
how I feel about the tush push. Like if you can do it, use it. It's,
Yeah.
you know.
And it's not like, again, it's not like nobody else can't use it. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's just because they can't stop it. Eagles run it so well, but literally you're just pushing against each other at the end of the day. So, just line up your man and push us back. It'll be in there for another season. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to vote on it again. I'm sure in the
I think this
future.
is something that'll just come up again and again, and until they get enough votes. There's numbers on the injury numbers that is really what people are claiming to be concerned about. I
Hmm.
haven't seen them, but like it doesn't seem like there's a lot of injury that happens with
Yeah.
just from upon viewing. But you know what? Like I guess the numbers don't lie. So if people really are getting hurt, I do feel like it'll continue to come up.
Yeah, but there hasn't been no injuries from it. So, a lot of coaches did mention, that, there was an injury risk, but there hasn't been no injuries from the tush push ever from that play,
Is it
offense
just
or
risk,
defense.
or are we? I mean, is it just risk that they're worried about, or were there actually?
Maybe it has to be just risk, in my opinion, because like there haven't been the injuries,
Mm.
from it. There have been zero injuries from that play. No player on offense or defense has been injured. So,
You know what else
uh,
got announced today, though, Big Red?
what's that?
In preseason and in season Hard Knocks. We didn't talk about this before the
Oh
show.
yeah.
The Bills are the summer Hard Knocks, and then the NFC East is the in season Hard Knocks.
Okay, so my Eagles will be in the
So the
Hard Knocks then.
Eagles,
Okay.
the Giants, the Commanders, and the Cowboys. That is
Okay.
your in-season Hard Knocks.
Okay, that's what's
Very
up.
excited. I told you I wanted eyes and ears in that quarterback room, and it looks like we're gonna get it.
Yeah, definitely are. For sure. Definitely.
And
No,
Jameis
who
on
did you
Hard
say was
Knocks
the off
again.
season? Who did you say was the off season again?
The Bills.
The Bills. Okay. Yeah, okay. The Bills. Definitely.
Interesting. I mean, just I don't think they did too much in the off season, but uh,
Uh-uh.
Josh after an MVP season, how they're preparing,
Hmm.
the Cook holdout.
Yeah,
Could
yeah.
be interesting.
I
Um,
hope they get that worked out too, because I like James Cook too, for sure.
mhm.
Definitely.
We also
Let's
got the schedule.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Let's talk about the schedule release. Um, there's some key games in my mind and your mind, obviously, that we like, don't like? What are some that you like and don't like actually?
Mm-hmm. Um, so I just want to start with I got my wish, but I didn't necessarily get it where I wanted it. The way I wanted it, we've
Mhm.
got Bengals versus Ravens on Thanksgiving night.
I did see that.
What I asked for on
You
my
did
wish
ask for
list,
that, yeah.
but we're in prime time in Baltimore again for the fourth year in a row.
They're never in
Does the
Cincy.
NFL have against having a prime time Ravens Bengals game in Cincinnati?
Yeah, because we would have been there for sure.
But like it's just not that's not cool. You're
Yeah.
giving them the home field advantage in prime time 4 years in a row, and it's on Thanksgiving now this year. Like,
Hmm.
come on, do better, NFL.
Yeah.
The Bengals have most of their prime time games on the road. Like, they're on the road Monday Night Football at the Broncos. They do get Thursday Night Football versus Steelers at home. That's our one prime time game at
Yeah.
home. And then Sunday Night Football in Miami, week 16. So it's just interesting. The Bengals
Uh,
don't get a lot of primetime home games. Um, I wonder
that's
why
crazy.
that is.
I didn't even think about that or never, pay attention to it. But yeah, no, that's crazy. You would think they would start. I'm pretty sure in the future or next season, there's something about that got to change.
Yeah, we and then they also
Because
didn't
y'all
get
definitely
an
have the star
international game.
power there now,
They also
for
didn't get an
sure.
international game, and Joe was notably
Joe
upset
wanted the
about
game,
that.
yeah.
He wants to grow the game, and he wants to grow the game internationally. And like he said, he's done a lot of work to do that, saying yes to quarterback, um,
Hmm.
doing things in fashion. Like he has done a lot to promote the NFL internationally, and
Yeah.
is not being rewarded for that. So I mean,
Uh-huh.
maybe next year, I guess.
Yeah, next year, NFL needs to make sure they get a Bengals in international game for sure. They have not played in one yet, correct?
No,
Yeah,
no.
that's wild.
No. I mean, I love the Christmas Day slate. Cowboys, Commanders, Lions at Vikings, Broncos at Chiefs.
Hmm. And
Love.
then I think we played the Black Friday game.
Yeah, yeah.
Who was that against? That'll be against the Chargers, is that, I believe? Hold on. 11:23. No, Chicago, the Bears.
Oh, you guys have the Bears
Yeah,
on Black
that
Friday.
Friday after the Thanksgiving. Yeah.
I just love a little division rivalry, Christmas Day, the spirit of Christmas,
Hmm.
the division rivalry this year. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I also obviously Lions at Chiefs week 6 Sunday night football and Lions at Eagles week 11 Sunday night football. Um, Tough schedule for the Lions on the road in prime time again, a lot like the Bengals, like
Yeah.
a lot of prime time games on the road. Um, Obviously a Super Bowl that could have been with Lions at Chiefs
Hmm.
and an NFC uh title game that could have been with Lions at Eagles. So
Yeah,
both
no, definitely.
exciting. Do you have any that stick out to you?
Um, it's yeah, I have a few that stick out to me. They're kind of like not necessarily they could be title contending teams. They're like on the cusp. So there's a few matchups I would like week 2 of Thursday night football. You got the Commanders versus the Packers. Jordan Love versus Jaden Daniels, two young quarterbacks, both in the NFC. It's like week 2 matchup. So it's kind of like which one is going to ascend to kind of show what kind of season they're going to have. I like that matchup. Um, Also on Monday Night Football, Week 3, I think you mentioned Detroit versus Baltimore. Did you mention that one?
No,
Week
but that's
3.
going to be great too.
Yeah, Detroit at Baltimore, Week 3, Monday night. That's a game I like to see too. I mean, I like the Week 2 matchup as well. The Chargers, AFC West Chargers versus the Raiders. It's some definitely good matchups. They definitely NFL did good on some. What's some that you're kind of like? What's one that maybe you're kind of iffy on? And you're just like, I wouldn't, not really. I mean, we all love to watch all the games, but which one are you maybe
Yeah,
not too fond of?
none of them stuck out to me as like this was a disastrous pick. There were a couple where I feel like maybe you could have switched it up. I mean, a lot of divisional stuff that's happening. Um, I don't necessarily need to see the Cowboys on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like
Yeah,
that to
same.
me was kind of
Great.
annoying. Like they get Thanksgiving every year. Now you're giving them Christmas. Um, I would have
Well,
liked
they
to
got to get
see
something since they can't get playoff wins. You
I
got
would have
to.
liked to see some more prime time stuff for our incoming class of rookies.
Yeah.
I'm not
No
sure.
primetime games for Cam Ward. He's like
No primetime games for
crazy.
Cam Ward, which was definitely like an interesting call.
Yeah. He's like the most under the radar number one overall pick like ever for real. Like I've never seen a number one pick that's just like not under the radar, not in the media, not doesn't get any primetime games this year. It's just like,
It's really interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, just nothing. Like it's just odd. Um,
Hmm.
there's a couple of double Monday nights, like even like week two, the Monday night games, like Bucks at Texans doesn't really stand out to me. Uh,
Yeah.
like it'll be fun, but like it's nothing
Yeah. I
special.
felt that way about the week 4 with the Jets and the Dolphins. I mean,
Again, like a divisional thing, but
yeah, it just doesn't. Yeah, I get the divisional matchup, but yeah, it just didn't stand out. That one was the one that didn't stand out to me for sure.
do you have any hot takes for the predictions for the season?
Oh, a hot take for the prediction of the season. Uh, let's see. I'm gonna make this is gonna be a bold prediction too. I'm gonna make a bold prediction on a division winner.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say that the Arizona Cardinals will win the NFC West this year. That is my bold prediction for the season.
Why?
That the You said why?
Yeah.
I just like the team that they putting together. They got a young team together. Kyler's Murray's still there. He's still a weapon. They're putting the pieces together on the defensive side of the ball. They drafted real well on the defensive side of the ball. So yeah, and I just think they're a sleeper. I like their tight end, McBride. He's one of the top 3 tight ends in the league. He got paid this year as well. Yeah, I think they're under the radar, and the Rams obviously going to be tough. The Niners obviously going to be tough. Seattle, you don't know what you're going to get with them, but yeah, no, I think Arizona's going to creep up there for real. I don't think the Niners will be good on D, but we still don't know what McCaffrey's going to come back and look like, and do they have enough on the outside as far as weapons? Yeah, we know they got Kittle and Ayuk, but is that going to be enough? And is Persall going to ascend in his second year
Mm.
as a receiver as well? So, but yeah, no, I got the Cardinals winning that division. That's my bold predict
I
prediction.
if I had to predict that division, I'd probably go Rams. Um,
Yeah.
but that division's always super close. My hot take, and I don't know how hot it is anymore after the schedule release because there may be a few people thinking this. Um,
Hmm.
Jackson Dart is the Giants starting quarterback by November.
By November. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Just
that means they're gonna have to struggle.
I think that I mean, look, the Giants, I've talked about it. Giants have, in my opinion, the hardest schedule in the NFL. The first, I don't know, 7, 8 weeks are a gauntlet for them. They start off at the
Let me look up their
Commanders,
schedule.
at Commanders,
Oh,
at Cowboys. Then they return home week 3 to host the Chiefs. Then they immediately host the Chargers. They go back on the road. They face the Saints, which we don't know what that's going to look like. That could
mhm.
potentially be a win. But then they come back and they host the Eagles. Then they go back on the road to play at Denver to face the Broncos. Then back home to host the Eagles again 2 weeks later. So
Uh-huh.
look at those first 8 weeks. I think maybe they're 1-5. By the
No,
time
yeah,
they
yeah,
finish with the Eagles the first time, and then they go
yeah.
back on the road for two more losses, they're 1-7 by week 8.
No,
I
I mean, you could be right. Commander, I see this: Commanders lost, Dallas lost, Chiefs lost, Chargers lost, Saints probably the win there. Eagles
right.
lost, Denver lost, Eagles lost, San Fran lost, Chicago maybe a win, Green Bay, Detroit, New England.
They have such a tough schedule, and
Yeah.
especially those first 8 weeks, those first 4 weeks are disgusting. They're going
Mm-hmm.
0-4 to start the season.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I just think if you get to when they play the Eagles in week 6 and they're sitting at 1-5 heading into November, I think that's when you say, why not let the kid take a shot at it, right? Like,
Yeah.
why not? I do think that Dable and Shane keep their jobs at least through the end of the season. I don't think they get fired in November after going
Yeah,
0.
because they need a chance to work with the guy.
I think seeing this schedule and knowing that they have a rookie quarterback that they're invested in, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think Dable and Shane get axed by November. I think they go with Dart, see how the season goes,
Yeah.
and they reevaluate in the offseason. But
Yeah, no, I mean, you made some great points for that's. I mean, your arguments are great for sure. I could see him, and maybe after, like you said, the back-to-back away games. By the time they play at Philly week 8, if they'll be about, like you said, about 1-7, 1-8, and then they'll be at home against the Niners. That could be his first kind of like, you know, put him in there at home, with the crowd behind him, game
yeah,
for sure. I can see that definitely.
I could see that being where he comes in as the starter. I could see him taking some snaps maybe on the road at Broncos or at Eagles, but
Hmm.
just to see what it looks like and then having him start at home against the Niners. But it just
Yeah.
the Giants have such a tough schedule for being one of the worst teams in the league.
No, yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely. You're definitely right. I like the whole NFC. I looked at the whole NFC East schedule. They're all pretty tough for real. I don't know if that's just the way things are lined up for
Yeah.
them, because they kind of rotate the divisions, how you play.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're definitely tough, for sure. That's definitely a bold prediction. Um,
Schedule
someone,
release videos are
yeah.
my favorite thing ever. Now you don't even watch them,
No, I didn't. I did not watch any of them. Yeah,
which I highly recommend. I watched all
I'll
32.
check some out. I'll check
I
them
have a
out.
great time every year because it's just an opportunity for the social media, marketing, creative teams of every team to just
Hmm.
go full send and see what they're about. The Chargers, I think, are in contention to win best schedule release video almost every year. This year they did a Minecraft video. They're hilarious. They had the ghost of Saquon haunting the Giants.
Yeah,
They have something against the Chiefs every year. So like the Chiefs got attacked by a bunch of Eagles.
the ghost of
They
Saquon is fun.
included the call. Um, it's just like they just do funny shit and they make a ton of references to
Hmm.
like niche things including like memes and stuff and funny things
Yeah,
happen throughout the year. Last year they had Harrison Butker in the kitchen in their credits, which if you know you know. um but also the Falcons had a funny one this year. They did a Mario Kart race. They blew by Bill Belichick and his girlfriend, his 24-year-old girlfriend. Um,
yeah.
the
That's a.
the
I
Bill,
heard they're engaged.
the Bills did a great one, where they call up Josh Allen. They're like, "Yo, like, what should we do for our schedule release?" And he goes, "Oh, just use AI." And so they call up Allen Iverson to read the schedule release.
That's
Um,
just use AI, and they call AI the
they
real
call up
AI. That's
AI, obviously.
funny.
The Rams had
That's
Brenda
funny.
Song do a like news anchor announcement where she made a ton of references. Came out recently that Brenda Song just really knows ball. And she's a huge
Hmm.
Rams fan, so they used her for that. The Giants did like a Love Island thing where they introduced all of their teams, like kind of how like the Love Island contestants introduced themselves. Hard to
Yeah.
explain, but it was very funny. Um,
I'm
the
gonna have to check them out for sure.
the Titans did like a it's like a medicine commercial. You know how like they have like all the different kinds of commercials. So they did like schedule Rizzy for like if you're having schedule FOMO or something like that. It was
Yeah.
hilarious. It was like a, cheesy commercial. Um,
Uh-huh.
the worst, in my opinion, the Browns did a weird AI version of their mascot, Brownie the elf. Like
It was the the
it was just
Browns.
really weird. Um,
Yeah.
the Dolphins one, I just didn't really get it. It just didn't really make any sense to me. It didn't stand out. Like it was pretty boring. Um,
Well,
and then the Jets, I think they eventually released one, but like on schedule release day, I think they just posted the schedule graphic, and I was like, what?
they didn't have nothing on time for it.
I don't know what happened there. But apparently they have one now, so I'll have to go check it out. But yeah,
So who's working in their office?
highly recommend.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out for sure. You can watch those on YouTube, right?
Could watch them everywhere. Yeah. I mean, if you just like
Yeah.
search it up, I think the NFL, like NFL.com has all of them like linked in one
Mhm.
place. But everybody posted theirs on Twitter, X, Twitter.
I know, right? Yeah, yeah.
Twitter.
Said that. Let's say get it right. But no, just some other quick NFL news. Lions withdrew from the proposal to change the playoff seating format.
Yeah, I was happy about that. I honestly didn't want to see them go to bat for that just because like and I've said it before, winning the division has to mean something.
Yeah.
As much as like in theory it makes sense, I just think that down the line then you start to question why you even have divisions and
Divisions, yeah.
why you're doing that. So
Uh-huh.
glad that that went off the
Yeah,
table.
no, yeah, we talked about that before too. I remember we talked about that a while back.
Yeah.
Definitely about it. I'm glad they withdrew from it as well.
And then
I
the
agree.
favorite news of the week, flag football in the Olympics
Yeah,
in 2028. They are going to let NFL players be eligible for it. And I'm so excited.
yeah, no, for sure. I've gotten some good stuff out of NFL players. Some NFL players don't care to play in it.
I just
Um,
think it's so good for the game. And like you see it with the super teams that come out of the NBA, the WNBA to go play, Team USA
hmm
in the Olympics. It's super cool way to be able to, you know, represent your country, but also just again grow the game internationally, right?
Yeah,
Even if it's flag
yeah.
football, you're growing the game internationally. And to have all of these probably really notable names playing in it would be absolutely awesome. So I
Mm.
have to ask you, your starting five on offense. Who would you pick as your starting five?
Let's see. Quarterback, I'm going Lamar.
But remember, 2028. We are 3 years away from it.
Okay, for sure. I got you. I got you. If I had to go right now, though, quarterback, I'm gonna go Lamar. My receivers, I'm probably gonna go. Uh, Probably your boy from Cincy. I'll go him and Justin Jefferson as well. Jamar Chase, who I'm talking about from Cincy, just for
Yes.
everybody. But
For everybody that doesn't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Running back, Saquon. I mean, I'm gonna go Saquon at running back for sure. Tight end, I'm gonna go with McBride out in Arizona. I like him a
It's
lot. Yeah,
your tight end is probably your center, by the way. Just so you know. In
yeah,
flag
yeah.
football rules, your tight end's your center.
Uh-huh. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go with McBride. He can hike the ball, then go run his routes for sure. Definitely. What about you?
Well, obviously, how could I pass up the opportunity to see the LSU trio reunited?
Yeah, I kind of figured that's where he was going.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, anybody? I understand we want maybe a
I
mobile
probably should
quarterback.
have just asked you who your tight end and your running back was. I probably could have pieced in the other ones
I
for sure.
mean, yeah, like obviously, I understand people thinking Lamar is the better choice for that. I've
Mm.
even heard like Kyler Murray because he's low to the ground. He's
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
gravity.
It would be great for flag. Yeah.
But and there's a lot of options for a mobile quarterback, but I know that Joe wants to do it. And I also think that if he sets his mind to it, he'll be fine. My running back, there's a lot of great options at running back. Obviously Saquon, Derrick Henry are like tanks. Jahmyr Gibbs. You got
Yeah.
the flags on you, you're avoiding the flag grabs.
Uh-huh.
If I want somebody shaking and baking, it's Jahmyr Gibbs. Love
No, that's a good
Saquon,
one for
but
sure.
also just thinking of age too.
Yeah.
3 years from now,
Uh-huh.
I'm going Jahmyr Gibbs on that one. And then I've got my center tight end, Brock Bowers.
Yeah, Brock is a good
Block.
one. Yeah.
He's a great receiving tight end. I think that's an
Uh-huh.
awesome option. I almost wanted to go George Kittle, but again, 3 years from now.
Yeah. No, no, yeah.
So my honorable mentions, because it is 2028 and we don't know what this is going to look like.
Hmm.
My honorable mentions are Malik Neighbors, Travis Hunter, and Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, my honorable mention would probably be Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, and either Chris Olave. I like him too. He's a shifty receiver out there for the Saints in the flag, definitely, for
I'm just
sure.
super excited about it. And I'm just picturing like Team France lining up and their quarterback just seeing like Micah Parsons coming at
Yeah,
him.
coming at him on man. I'm interested to see it for that reason alone because like I said, we're going to have NFL players playing in it. And, obviously a lot of other countries, are not going to have NFL players. So I'm just kind of interested to see how it's going to go. I know some players are from other countries. Maybe they go and represent their country in
That's
them playing it.
possible. There's a good amount that are from other countries.
Yeah,
Definitely see.
yeah. So yeah, definitely. So there'll be some other good country teams for sure. And then, like you said, flag football, it's definitely different. So, but it's definitely fun. I actually play flag football. I love flag football. So
Yeah, it's
it's
awesome.
definitely, yeah. So it's gonna be fun to watch and see it. I kind of think the Pro Bowl kind of promoted that a little bit, with the flag at the Pro Bowl, kind of like promoted it.
Absolutely. And you know what? Who should be an honorable mention, who probably should be on the roster, is Turpin. He was a
Oh
monster
yeah, yeah,
in flag
yeah,
football in the Pro
definitely.
Bowl. Now
Uh
that
huh.
now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, he's definitely shifty for sure. Fast as hell. Good. He'll be a good guy to have on your team. Definitely, 100% for sure. I want to shout out a couple people who got paid in the league. We haven't got to quite talk about it.
Yeah.
But Brock Purdy, he got 5 years, 265 million, 181 guaranteed. It's not the most, obviously, but I feel like it was a good place, a good range for him to get paid. The Niners got it done. Also for the Niners, Fred Warner, great linebacker, signed an extension, 3 years, 63 million, 56.7 million guaranteed. So congratulations to him. He's obviously a future Hall of Fame linebacker. Derrick Henry signed an extension too, as well. 2 years, 30 million, 25 million guaranteed, which made him the oldest running back over 30 to get that much money in a deal. So, how do you feel about those deals? Do you think they're well deserved, especially the one about Derrick Henry being over 30 and getting the most money for a running back over 30,
Yeah.
which I think he kind of deserves. But what's your take on it?
I would say he's earned it. I mean, not looking forward to having to defend him for the next couple of years.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
But
Yeah.
especially if he stays as successful as he's been with the Ravens.
Hmm.
That's dangerous. But yeah, I mean, congratulations to him. That's awesome. I think that's a good middle ground for Brock, from Mr. Irrelevant to getting his bag.
Yeah.
He's earned it. A lot of people have questions about him as a quarterback when he doesn't have all his weapons, but I mean, that's on the 49ers to make sure he has his weapons, you know?
Yeah.
Who are you without your weapons? Like, that's
Hmm.
any quarterback.
Yeah. No,
That's why
really,
you
yeah.
see stud quarterbacks who go number one overall not necessarily be successful with their teams right away because they're getting drafted to the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah. And they it
It's a
takes
very
time to
hard
put
thing to
pieces
do
together.
to completely turn around a program by yourself. So that's,
Hmm.
there's a lot of things being said about him, but I think it was earned, and obviously Fred Warner's future Hall of Famer. So
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. The Niners trying to lock up some key pieces. I think Brock definitely deserved the money. I mean, he's won 4 playoff games in his young career. Like you said, the last
been
person
to a
picked
Super
in the
Bowl.
yeah, been to a Super Bowl. Yeah, last person picked in the draft. He's been to a couple of NFC Championship games as well.
Mhm.
Um, so I mean, he definitely deserves the money. People will, they criticize quarterbacks, because they're not the most polished or whatever. But if you win, you win. And Brock definitely win. They struggled last year, the Niners did, but I mean, he
He had
definitely
so
deserved
many
his money.
injuries last year.
Yeah, yeah, and it started with McCaffrey for sure, definitely. Um, a couple of more things as far as NFL rookie news. How did you feel about Ashton Genty paying 6 figures for the number 2 from the punter Daniel Carlson from the Raiders, and also your boy Shador signed a 4-year, $4.6 million deal, and his jersey is the number 1 selling rookie jersey in the NFL. He's the first non-first rounder to have the most rookie jerseys sold in the league. What's your take on those 2 things?
I mean, I'm not shocked. I'm not
Yeah,
shocked.
yeah, not shocked at all. We all
I've
kind of
said
knew
it
that was going to happen.
before. The NFL thought that they were just gonna teach him a lesson, send him to
Mm.
the fifth round, humble him a little bit, and then use the crap out of him for promotion. Like
Yeah,
his team is using him for promotion, the NFL is using him for promotion. Um, and poor Dylan Gabriel's got to be sitting there going, "Why the fuck was I taken in the third round?
yeah, he's
What
put
am
in a
I doing?
bad spot.
What am I doing here?" Um,
Great point. He definitely put in a bad spot for sure.
Super weird. So my brain keeps going back to that. Like, what are they doing? Uh,
Yeah,
but I mean,
the Browns.
it's hard to feel bad for Shador because financially he's fine. Like,
Yeah,
it's not a financial thing. It's more just like, why disrespect the guy like that? Like, why did you feel the need to humble him? Like, oh, nobody's greater than the Shield, but also we're gonna use you for views and ratings
yeah, and use you for money as well. Yeah,
and use you for money. It's a lot of the reason why name, image, likeness even came into place in college athletics. It's like they were using the schools were getting money and profiting, and the NCAA was profiting off of these kids that weren't able to profit off of themselves.
so, yeah.
You've now created a situation where you did that kind of not exactly, but you did that to Shador here. You thought
Mm.
that you could humble him and then use him for money and views,
Yeah.
ratings. And it's just like, it's not cool in my opinion. But it is what it is. And, it doesn't matter where you get drafted, it's what you do with it. So I'm interested to see what his career looks like. Uh,
Mhm.
and then what was the other Genty paying? I mean,
Yeah,
look,
he paid
I,
6 figures for the number 2. Would you pay 6 figures for a jersey number?
that it depends on how important it is to him. I think maybe he should have a financial advisor.
Yeah, he did.
A lot of young guys need a financial advisor. I think I need a financial advisor because I might actually do that if I had that kind of money.
Yeah.
Because I was attached to my number too. But
What was your number?
oh, my number, I was always number one. Uh,
Okay.
Not because I wanted to be number one. Unfortunately, no, it was because when you were growing up playing youth sports, jersey numbers went in order based on size. So the smallest jersey was always number one.
Yeah, yeah.
I always needed the smallest jersey.
Oh, yeah. No,
I'm
yeah,
not a
definitely.
big kid.
You're not a big kid for sure.
So I always had number one because I always needed a size extra small or a small or whatever jersey.
Hmm. But no, I think it's crazy. I mean, like you said, it depends on your attachment with it, but I mean, I'm gonna just go with whatever number, man. I'm not paying nobody 6 figures for no number.
It was kind of insane. It's a
He
lot
probably
of
could have
money.
waited too. The dude might not even be on the team in a year or two. You could have just waited out for the number and got it. But 6 figures, kind of crazy. you know.
Again, I feel like it has something to do with um NIL and notoriety of it. Like everybody knew who Ashton Genty was and they knew him with the number two, and
Mhm.
that's how he made his name for himself. So I could understand wanting to keep it. Again,
Yeah,
paying six figures for it, I think is it's an insane. First of all, like why ask him for six figures? That's an insane ask.
yeah, that's an insane ass. But I'm not mad at the punter though,
Get
because
your
it's like,
bag,
hey,
boy. Get your
get
bag.
your money. Punters don't get paid like that anyway. So, hey, you want this number? Hey, it's gonna cost you, buddy. So,
Maybe a
I,
little
I
Ricky hazing in that one.
yeah, I'm not mad at him one bit for that, for sure,
Yeah.
definitely. Let's talk a little NBA.
Basketball.
Yeah, a little basketball. We got the conference finals going on, obviously. There was a
Can
game yesterday, game one.
can we just before we get to what's
Yeah,
going on right now,
now you said what now?
the Celtics just
Gave up?
gave up. It could not have been more fun to watch.
Oh, I know you love that.
119 to 81, we won that series.
Yeah, yeah. That was a bad loss.
I mean, look,
Game five and game sevens was bad losses for the Celtics for sure.
I like we said last week, I feel horrible for Jason Tatum. I feel horrible. And I
Yeah,
hope him like the quickest recovery ever. And
definitely.
it's not the way that I wanted to win that series. Like I didn't want to win because they didn't have Tatum.
Tatum, yeah.
But wow, it was game
But
six
yeah,
fun to
you'll take it.
watch. Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. That's my whole lifetime. I've
Uh-huh.
seen them go in my lifetime.
Yeah, I remember I was a teenager when they went, so I remember, yeah. I remember when the last time they went for sure.
I'm I'm so excited. And like when we started this whole thing and I said that there was, that the Celtics are a better team, that stands true. But this is the playoffs
Mm-hmm.
and anything can happen and
Yeah. And
anything
injuries are
could
part of it. Injuries are part of it for
injuries are
sure.
part of it. But also just like the spirit of the city at that point, like the energy in the air for game six
Uh-huh.
was just like you almost you knew that that night was going to go that way.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. 100%. I mean, shout out to the Knicks. I mean, I think the NBA is better when New York is good. It's kind of like it was for me in the '90s when the Knicks were good. Then and then
New
obviously,
York teams just struggle to be good.
yeah, 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 definitely. And
Other than
it
what
kind
they
of it kind of had its surge when Melo was there, but Melo didn't lead them to where they are now. Obviously, as far as the conference finals and the series away from the finals. But I mean, you gotta love it for sure. Did you see the one Indiana fan that was out there with a Halliburton jersey?
oh my
And
God.
the New
I
York
hope he had
fans were like,
protective detail.
they were like throwing shit at him and pushing him around.
Yeah, I saw that Halliburton, I think, was
Yeah,
offering him
Halliburton
tickets.
on the podcast, Pat McAfee show got him some tickets to the game, I guess, for the series. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I like the Knicks and Pacers rivalry. It's an old rivalry dating back into the '90s.
Yeah, and
Those
it's
guys,
recent too. It's an old rivalry, but it's fresh because they
yeah,
played in the second round last year
last
and
year,
the
yeah,
Pacers won.
so the Knicks are going to be looking for revenge, definitely. Obviously, no, you're going with the Knicks on this one. I'm gonna go with the Pacers. I believe it or not, whoever comes out the East, I want to win.
Yeah.
But I want the Pacers to win in this series, and I believe I'm rooting for Minnesota, but I believe OKC is going to win out west. As you can see from Game One, their defense is just too tough. Anthony Edwards tweaked his ankle, so he's playing hurt like a lot of people are around this time of the
Yeah.
year. But it's just going to be a struggle for them, I think. Julius Randle played great yesterday as well. Shot well in the first half. I want to say it was like 5 or 6 from three. He had finished the game with 28 points. He kind of sizzled out in the second half though, but
Yeah.
um, just too much D from OKC and SGA, and Chet Holmgren is kind of like the piece, the key piece to that defense in my mind. Like the rim protector, and he gets his steals and everything. So
Yeah.
definitely going to be good series.
I am obviously rooting for a Minnesota New York final because of
Yes,
that blockbuster, like Karl Anthony Towns, Julius
Towns,
Randle
Julius Randle.
trade
Uh
the
huh.
day before the season started to then
Yeah,
see them in the finals
would be crazy. Yeah.
would be crazy, and it would be great for ratings. The
Uh huh.
NBA has obviously struggled with ratings this year.
Cat
Um,
goes back to his old team and
yeah,
plays
so I
his
just
old
think that
team.
that would be a great headline for them, would be a great money-making headline for them. Great for ratings and could be good entertainment. But I do
Mm.
agree that OKC's defense plus the Anthony Edwards injury is going
Yeah.
to skew it towards the Thunder's favor.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Also, congratulations to SGA MVP.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats to him. Finally, I mean, he was close to
First
winning
one.
it last year, but he finally got him one. Congrats to him,
Yeah.
as he marks himself in the NBA history, winning the MVP award. Definitely, for
Yeah.
sure.
But I'm really excited for this Knicks Pacers matchup. I think a lot of people think
Yeah.
that the speed of the game that the Pacers play is just going to tire out the Knicks and their depth or their lack of
Hmm.
depth when it comes to who they play.
Yeah.
But the Knicks have played that short bench all year long, so I don't think that it's going to be as big
I
of an
don't think it is either.
as everybody thinks that it might
Yeah.
be. And defensively, if you can do things to slow a team down and take them out of their speed and bring them into your speed, then you disrupt them. So it's going to come down to defensively who can produce the better defensive product. Obviously,
Hmm.
defense wins championships. We've talked about that time and time again.
Yeah.
Saying that on the other side too with OKC versus Minnesota, like it's going to be their defense that wins it for them. I think it's going to be the same thing here. If the Knicks can slow down the Pacers, the Knicks can win this. If the Pacers can speed up the Knicks and tire them out, then it's going to be a Pacers win. But I love this matchup. The
So,
Tyrese
I'm glad
Halliburton
to see
versus
it
Jalen
actually.
Brunson. It's two young guys. I think there's implications here for like a future face of the franchise too. Not the
Yeah.
franchise, of the league.
Of the league, yeah.
I mean, because I know that Anthony Edwards doesn't want to be the face of the league. So
Hmm.
you're looking at, younger guys like Halliburton and Brunson
GA as well.
potentially see,
Yeah.
yeah, a future face of the league
Hmm.
competition right here.
Yeah. Definitely. And it's definitely good. I think it's good for the league this year because we finally see somebody new get a ring.
Yeah, that
Um,
too.
yeah, not the typical LeBrons or Currys, or Giannis or, somebody like that. We'll get to see, like you said, kind of a transition into the next generation of the league with a lot of the superstars here in a year or two going to be out of the league. So
I
it's
love it.
definitely,
Young teams in the finals.
yeah, it's definitely going to be a good matchup as well. I'm definitely looking forward to the game tonight with the Pacers and Knicks for sure. Madison Square Garden is going to be rocking. Yeah, it's going to be rocking for sure.
And congratulations to Nikola Jokic on ending his season and getting to
Yeah,
go back home to his horses because I know he's really excited about that.
yeah. No, he can go ahead and start with his horses and get his off season going for sure.
An early end to the job. And I think
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure he's thrilled about that. No
Yeah.
overtime this year.
Yeah. For sure. Another thing about Minnesota too, man, they shot like 15 of 51 from three. You're not going to win no series shooting like that. It's like 29% from three. I mean, obviously, if you're shooting that bad, go to the cup. You go to the basket. But
Yeah.
no, definitely, it's going to be some interesting matchups.
That should be
Let's
an
get
off
into the.
season. We should have that conversation in the off season of the NBA too. What are we going to do about the whole 3-point situation? Because the ridiculousness of how often teams shoot threes now at this point. I mean, the NBA is just a three-point shooting contest.
Yeah,
So
some games get boring to watch sometimes
we
because
should
they
have a
just
discussion about that at a later
chucking so
date.
many threes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not today's topic of discussion, but it's definitely an
Mhm.
ongoing discussion. What is the league going to do about this? Because it's a problem, and it's
Yeah.
part of the reason the ratings are tanking.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I get it. More guys are great. A lot of more guys are great shooters, and a lot of more big men are becoming better shooters. And so they're stretching the floor. I get it, but like, man, it's like when they're living and dying by that motherfucker. They're just shooting and shooting and shooting. And sometimes, like you said, the games get boring when you're just watching teams going back and forth up the court, shooting, just
Threes.
shooting bricks, 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 and just shooting threes.
Yeah.
Definitely gets boring for sure. But let's talk about something that's definitely not boring. The WNBA season just kicked off, last Friday, but we've had a lot of early excitement going on. I'll let you begin to touch on some things that's going on with the WNBA for sure.
So, we'll start with the face of the league, Caitlin Clark. I know nobody likes to hear that, but it's true. Um, Most career games with 25 plus points and 10 plus assists in WNBA
Yeah,
history. She broke
42
that
games.
record in 42 games, which is unheard of. It's
Yeah, which is crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Everybody else on that list, it's like the top three, it's like 400 games or something that it took to get there.
yeah,
Absurd. I mean, it just
42 games is
to
crazy.
one, the generational level of
Mm-hmm.
talent that she has from beyond the arc, but also it does speak to the way that the WNBA has trended now with Caitlin Clark. Her team, I mean, look at it. Her teammate, DeWanna Bonner, went 2 games in a row for the first time in her career with under 10 points each game.
Yeah,
The offense runs through Caitlin Clark. So, of
definitely
course, she
does.
got there faster. Of course, she got there faster. Like, I'm going to say that, but 42 compared to 400 is insane. It's
Yeah,
like, that's an insane stat. So Caitlin
it
Clark,
definitely is.
like, congratulations. Another record broken, another thing to add to her list of accolades.
Uh-huh.
But
That will continue to come for
she
sure.
was in the news for maybe something a little more controversial last week, though. Did you see it?
Yeah, her and Angel Reese battling Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever. The Fever won that game 93-58, I believe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they destroyed.
Destroyed them, yeah.
It's not a rivalry because the
It's
Fever
not.
are so
It's,
much better. But
yeah.
it was rivalry week, which was something that the WNBA created and pushed and promoted. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously, the Fever and the Sky played because Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. And
Yeah.
that has continued to be promoted as the rivalry. There was an incident where Angel Reese went up for a rebound. She shoved, I think it was Aaliyah Boston,
Yeah. She shoved Aaliyah
shoved
Boston,
her in
yeah.
the back to grab this rebound, which should have been a foul.
It should have been a
Should have been
push
a
off for
foul.
sure.
And then
Should have
Caitlin
been.
Clark reached in and basically what it was in basketball terminology is a take foul. You're not
Yeah.
giving them an easy layup. You want to put them on the line.
Uh-huh.
Now, because of the way she had just shoved her teammate, and because maybe a little bit because it's Angel Reese who talks a lot of shit against her, he hit her a little hard. She
Yeah,
was
yeah.
called
Gave
for
her a
a
little push.
flagrant foul. She called for a flagrant foul. I not sure that I would have just after not calling the push in the back to then call that the flagrant foul. Not sure I would have gone that way, but I
Uh-huh.
understand the flagrant foul. What was
Yeah.
crazy was after the take foul, Angel Reese got up and looked like she was about to take a swing at
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was talking shit. Yeah.
and she was talking mad shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Talking about the situation strictly, both women after the game said, it was a basketball play. The refs handled it. Caitlin
Move
didn't
on.
think that it should be
Yeah.
called a flagrant, so she disagreed with the call, but like ultimately, no hate, no malicious intent, obviously towards Angel.
Mm-hmm.
Angel really didn't answer the question much, which I mean, honestly, is an improvement from how she answered questions last year. It's still not great.
Yeah.
Like, she basically said it was basketball play, move on, like the rest
Move
of
on. Yeah. Yeah.
them. interesting how much she wants to put Caitlyn's name in her mouth, but then won't answer questions about it. But also at the same time, she seems to not really be able to answer those questions effectively. So
Yeah.
good for her. Definitely shows some maturity.
Yeah, no, yeah, because those were set up. Some of those were set up questions for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I
they
mean,
want the drama.
she definitely gets drama setup questions, and she would bite at them last year. So good on
Yeah,
her
she
for
would.
not. Speaking strictly about basketball, because I will get into then some of the incidents and some of the claims and the investigations happening in the WNBA, but strictly on basketball, this
Mhm.
isn't a rivalry, right?
No.
First of all, they play two different positions. At some point, the rivalries for Caitlin Clark are going to have to shift towards other guards, and the rivalries for Angel are going to have to shift towards other
Other
bigs,
bigs, yeah.
right? It's not really the two of them going against each other.
Mhm.
I do think that there is probably some jealousy in Angel Reese,
Yeah.
based on that reaction and that reaction alone. But those reactions, not necessarily to that level, but like a lot of those kinds of reactions, it gets heated in the WNBA. And the WNBA has been criticized for that, where the NBA hasn't. But it does get heated. And there's been, several instances. There were other instances that same weekend
Hmm.
near fights, right?
Yeah.
You get in there, you foul,
Things get tense.
get
Yeah.
things can get upgraded real fast.
Yeah.
But Caitlin Clark is a generational talent. Angel
Definitely.
Reese is a good basketball player. She deserves to be in the WNBA. She won a national championship. She won SEC Player of the Year. Like, she's a good basketball player. She's a great
Mhm.
rebounder, a good basketball player. Caitlin Clark is a generational talent. And it's just different. It's just different. It's not comparable. It's not the same. And I want to be so clear. That is all about basketball. It is not a race thing. You can be white and like Caitlin Clark and not be a racist. You can be black and like Caitlin Clark better and not be, you know,
Hmm.
bowing down to the white people and being a sellout and all
Yeah.
the things
Yeah.
that are being said. And you can like Angel Reese and be a black person and not be anti-whites. Like,
Yeah.
these are
This
all
is
things.
not a race thing for
It's not a
sure.
race
Yeah.
thing. And you can like Caitlin Clark and you can like Angel Reese for what they are, which is
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark, generational basketball player, Angel Reese,
Good player,
player.
but
You can
not
like them both.
generational.
And I don't dislike Angel Reese. And I don't think she's a hoodlum. And I don't think she's all of these things that she gets called. And that is the problem, right? The
Yeah.
WNBA is investigating into the fans of the Indiana Fever for the way that they conducted themselves during that game. And if it's now getting to a point where this rivalry is creating a race war in Indiana and causing fans to make Angel specifically, but black players uncomfortable, there definitely
Yeah.
needs to be a greater investigation. So I'm glad that they're doing it. Now, I've
Yeah,
seen a
no,
lot of
definitely.
stuff from people in the audience in the crowd that day
Hmm.
that are saying that it wasn't anything violent, it wasn't anything racial, it was just they were booing her. If
Yeah.
that's the case, then we're making a big deal out of nothing. So
Yeah, which I
I'm
think is the
curious to
case. I
see.
think people are making a big deal out of nothing. They're going to boo her in Indiana. They're going to boo her. No different from
Absolutely.
no different from Caitlin Clark probably getting booed when she makes a trip to Chicago. So anybody who thinks that it has something to do with racism, more than likely is probably racist, or their intelligence level is very low.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
can, I think you can dislike Angel Reese. I think you can not like the way that she plays basketball. I think that you could even not like the way that she's conducted herself in terms of Caitlin Clark, because
hmm
that's an opinion. When
yeah,
your criticisms of Angel Reese become unbasketball related, that's a problem.
that's a problem. Yeah. And don't get it twisted. Angel Reese, like I said, I agree with you. This isn't a rivalry. You know, Angel Reese is going to have to pull her team together. Chicago's going to have to become more competitive in order for this to be a rivalry. Angel Reese is going to have to do more. Don't get me wrong; she's a good player. She's a double double any given night player. But in order for her to, I'm not going to necessarily want it for the fans to want this to be a rivalry. Chicago's just going to have to compete more, and the games are going to have to be more competitive. And like I said, as far as the skill level, we all know, like I said, it is what it is. Caitlin Clark is a generational talent. She's on a different level. Um, doesn't mean they can't be rivals per se, but I feel like Angel Reese still has a lot more to work on her game. I still feel like she needs to work on her game more. I feel like she needs to work on her jump shot more as well. I feel like if she had a good jump shot, she would be hella deadly for sure because she could then go inside out. I'm not saying that her jumper's not bad, but I just feel like again, it's definitely not a rivalry. Um,
I'd love to see her finish better at the rim too and see
yeah,
how that affects the rebounding numbers because a lot
yeah,
of people, including me, say there's a lot of stat padding going on because you're missing layups, getting your own rebound and
rebound,
putting it back in.
yeah.
I would love for her to be a better finisher at the rim
You
because
know,
she's
she
a
finished.
good rebounder, and I'd like to see her be allowed to be a good rebounder and also not be a stat padder.
Yeah, yeah. No, she finished with 12.17 rebounds. You know, if she works on her scoring and her offense more, you know, if that said 28-17 or, 30-17, then, those games probably would be a lot more competitive. But for her to be on the level as far as a player versus player, she's not there yet. As far as a rivalry, uh, her team's not there yet. So um, the Sky got a lot more to do. I like their team. Don't get me wrong; they got a young team. They just picked up Haley Van Lith as well, so I like their team. But it's definitely not a rivalry yet. I just think this is kind of ascending from the college years and then going into the draft as well. Um, but yeah, no, definitely. Angel Reese is going to have to step her game up, or else this little drama they got going on is going to sizzle out. But
Yeah.
I think it's going to keep going as far as this year, just because of what happened with the foul. I don't think it was a flagrant foul. I just think that the little push at the end is what gave him the flagrant. I'm not mad at Caitlin Clark for fouling her because she just watched a girl get fouled and pushed for the rebound and they didn't call it. So, I'm not giving you this freebie shot
It's a
after
take
you just
foul.
fouled
That's
my
what it
girl.
is. It's a take foul. I've done
Yeah.
that. I've done it. Like you don't want to give
Yeah,
anybody
same
a
here.
free
Also,
easy
me too.
layup.
I've done it as well.
You don't give anybody a free
Yeah,
easy
you're
layup.
not
You
getting
put them on
that.
the line. That's a good foul.
Yeah,
Now, there's the added
yeah.
the added situation of watching her shove her teammate in the back. And so that take foul then becomes a little
Mm-hmm.
more like, yeah, fuck you just fucking shoved my teammate. Like, I'm gonna shove you back.
Yeah, yeah.
And because
Uh-huh.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, a little bit for the drama of it,
Yep.
it probably got upgraded too. Like, I think
Yeah.
that there's
It's
something
not a
to be said
rivalry.
about the ratings of and how much that clip was shown.
Yeah.
Like, they were dying for it.
And see, and like I said earlier, it's not a rivalry, but I do like the drama of it, though. The, I do like that they don't like each other and they want to go at each other. I like the competitiveness rivalry of that. That's always good in sports to have. So I do like that, but it's definitely not there yet as far as a rivalry, in my opinion. But I do like the drama with it and that they are, going at each other as far as that. And even all the other games and stuff you mentioned with the hard fouls and girls going at each other, that's good. That's part of the game. They're
For the
competing.
league.
That's,
It's good for the
yeah,
league
that's,
compete level.
yeah, it's like that's part of it. And I love all of that. So, uh, yeah, no, definitely. I think it's good for the league, the WNBA for sure. 100%.
Now, the rookies this year, because we haven't talked about them yet. I think the rookie of the year race is
Uh-uh.
tight. I think it's going to be tight. Obviously, Paige Beckers is incredible. She's finding a lot of success with the wings.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're still trying to gel in Dallas. I don't think Arike Gumbawale is used to having players that are as good as
Yeah,
Paige
yeah.
Beckers on her team with her.
Uh-huh.
So it's interesting to see, how they start to gel. Um, but also your number 3 and number 4 picks, who both went to the Mystics from Notre Dame, Sonia Citron, who I know you love, and
Yeah.
Kiki Iriafen from She was originally Stanford, but finished her career at USC.
See, yeah,
They are killing it.
yeah, they are.
They
They
both made
definitely.
the starting lineup for the Mystics. I'm pretty sure in the season opener, Sonia dropped 19 points,
Hmm.
which is, I mean, en route to a win, by the way.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, these women are killing it.
they definitely are.
I think this is going to be a much tighter Rookie of the Year race than last year's.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. What's the girl from the Seattle Storm, the Dominica Malonga?
Malanga. Yeah, she
Yeah,
hasn't played a lot.
yeah,
The
no, yeah,
Storm have a history of not really, definitely not overplaying their rookies.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I like her. I hope she does get more playing time as well. She was one of the ones I was paying attention to, like as far as that goes, as far as the rookies. But I would definitely love to see her get more time. Yeah, Sonya Citron, that's my girl for sure. Her and Paige are probably like my top two candidates for Rookie of the Year.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I'm sure there are going to be many other sleepers as the year goes on for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely, 100%. Finally, let's talk NHL playoffs. Um, the Florida Panthers won their game against the Hurricanes 5-2 yesterday, winning Game 1 of the conference finals. Tonight we have Edmonton versus Dallas. Now I know you had Dallas,
I have Dallas.
yeah, going, and I was going with Edmonton. So that game's tonight. I'm sure that'll be a good series. Um, the Panthers just beat the Maple Leafs last series in Game 7 to advance. They're the defending champs, and then they take Game 1 of this series. They seem to be playing and getting in the championship form at the right time, and
Yeah.
the two blowout wins back to back just goes to show that as well. So,
Definitely
um,
feels like a right time kind of moment, like peaking just at the right time.
yeah.
They're back at, back in the playoffs and you're defending champion. I sat
Mhm.
here and said that I thought it was gonna be the Maple Leafs, but yeah, it really looks like the Panthers have just found that spirit,
Yeah, found that
that
groove.
little
Yeah,
bit of extra grit of like we're the defending champs and we're not leaving.
uh-huh. Like we do this. Like,
That's
yeah,
how
like
Game 7 felt to me. Like
yeah, yeah.
we've
Like
been
it
here
was.
before and like that's how we do it, kind of like
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I actually sat here and was watching most of the Game 7 too, and I was watching. I said, "Oh man, the game I would watch would be the blowout one." Where it's just, it's over. I'm like, "Oh yeah, they're advancing." And then they turn around and win Game 1 5-2 over the Hurricanes. So it's just like,
dominant wins.
yeah, dominant, yeah. But no, the Oilers and the Stars. I'm looking forward to that one too. Like you said, the Stars have been playing tough, and I just like Connor McDavid from Edmonton. He's just, to me, he's going to be the face of the league in the future for the NHL, in my opinion. So I'm just rooting for him to get a Stanley Cup. But no, my picks for the championship, obviously, yours is Dallas and probably Florida, I'm guessing.
Hmm.
Yeah, and mine is Edmonton and Florida.
Yeah,
Who
the West has been pretty close throughout this whole thing.
has, yeah. But so who would you have winning out of those two of your picks, Florida and Dallas?
Right now, Florida's
Right
playing.
now, Florida, yeah. That's I was gonna say the
They're
same
just
thing. But
they're on like a tear. So
yeah,
it's hard to kind of pick against that right now. But
hmm,
like we said, the West has been a lot tighter and they played a lot closer games. So
yeah, hmm. But yeah, no, the Oilers and Stars get kicked off tonight, so we'll see how that goes and how the rest of the week goes. But we are out of time, everyone. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to the He Said, She Said Sports Talk Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Big Red. This is Tony. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next week. And as always, it's love and peace.